celebrate life and live it with zeal. Give unto others the love that you feel. The greatest gift I give to another is a gift of myself. There is no other. Celebrate life through the heart of a child. Embrace every moment, begin with a smile. Give unto others by daring to care. See the new day dawning through the love that you share. Oh, celebrate life. Oh, celebrate life. Oh, celebrate life.
For as long as there have been babies born into this world, mankind has wondered about how life begins and develops in the womb. Now, with the advent of new technologies like real-time ultrasound imaging, we can see in exquisite detail how an unborn child is formed. Ultrasound utilizes high-frequency sound waves and is a safe procedure for both the mother and the unborn child. The sound waves are transmitted into the mother and are reflected back through a transducer. A computer will then tape these electrical pulses and convert them into an image, which we can recognize as the unborn child. Shari Richard is a registered ultrasound technologist who has the opportunity of watching the unborn in the privacy of the womb and has experienced firsthand the many wonders and benefits of this exciting technology.
It's a rewarding experience for me as a sonographer to introduce these babies to their parents for the first time. Each of them seem to have a unique personality of their own, and usually they'll give quite a performance to their parents.
Will ultrasound have any effect on the baby at all?
No, not at all. In fact, we've been doing tests for 20 years, and they haven't been able to find any biological effects at the diagnostic exposures we use, so you don't have to worry. Anyways, I'm going to get started now. I'm going to put some cold gel on you. Go. That's going to help transmit the sound. Does that tickle?
It's cold.
Okay. This is your bladder, and this is your baby right here. He's jumping for you. Look at him.
Wow, I can't believe how developed he is. Look at him move.
Yeah, he's been well developed since 8 weeks. He's had all his parts. Look at him. Oh, look at you.
How come I can't feel that?
You won't until the 4th month, but he's been moving in there since 8 weeks. He's got a whole lot of room in the womb to move, and with all that fluid, they're able to move around, do somersaults, you know. Look at him. Do you believe it? You're going to have your hands full, girl. Look at that.
Is he healthy?
He looks healthy, but the doctor's going to have to take a look at the films. But he looks real healthy to me. Look at that.
Wow, I can't believe that ultrasound will show so much.
Isn't it amazing? Look at him. Look at his head. Look at
That's
his
great.
hand.
That's
so
wonderful.
Cute. You got a cutie.
Besides giving us the ability to observe the baby's actions in the womb, ultrasound provides extensive clinical information about the baby's well-being.
During a general survey, we can determine the gestational age of the baby and offer information about the baby's well-being. Great progress has been made in treating the baby in the womb. With the invention of biopsy transducer, surgery can be performed while observing with ultrasound. Procedures such as blood transfusions, biopsies, fluid aspirations, and amniocentesis can be performed within the womb, and the baby can now be treated as a separate patient.
Ultrasound has also been a superb tool for teaching us about our prenatal development stages. The images you're about to see will reveal in all its wonder and mystery the beautiful continuity of the unborn, the growth and development of a human embryo and fetus from 3 to 4 weeks after conception to just before birth. The birth of a human life occurs at the moment of conception, when the mother's egg or ovum is fertilized by one of the father's sperm. During this act of conception, the two cells become a single living cell, a unique individual who never existed before in history and will never be duplicated again. You were so small that the naked eye could not see you. During ovulation, when the mother's egg is mature, it is released from the ovary to await fertilization. As over 200 million sperm enter the cervix, they begin their search for the egg. If an egg is present, they will stream purposely toward it at a rate of 3 inches per hour, through the cervix, the uterus, and up the fallopian tube to meet the egg. Only one of the 200 million sperm engaged in this race will unite with the egg, and you won the race. The chance of you being born is 1 in 200 million. See what a miracle you are? You are a unique and very special person. In the next few days, the fertilized egg divides into many cells and begins to travel down the fallopian tube and enters into the well-prepared endometrial lining of the uterus. This ball of life will grow at a rapid rate to become an embryo, the next stage of development. At 4 to 5 weeks from conception, the embryo measures only 1/4 of an inch, about the size of an apple seed. Its heart begins to beat on about day 18.
This is an image of just 4 weeks. Can you see the heart beating? Listen to the Doppler of that heart. This embryo is 5 weeks. You can clearly see the formation of the head and body.
As the embryo reaches the 2nd month, it will measure approximately 1/3 of an inch. The dark circles of the eyes are the retina and can be clearly seen. The beginning stumps of the arms and legs are beginning to grow. The embryo floats freely in the amniotic fluid, which will cushion and protect the baby for the 9 months he will spend in his mother's womb.
Now this is a 7-week baby. I'm going to magnify this image, and now you can clearly identify the arms and the legs and the head. Watch him as he moves. This is another 7-week baby. Here's the uterus, gestational sac, and the baby. Again, watch as he moves within the sac. 7 weeks is the time that we first visualize movement. Here's the yolk sac, which will supply the nutrition for the baby until the placenta can take over.
At 8 weeks and measuring 1 inch, the developing baby is no longer an embryo, but a fetus, meaning young one. All the organs are now present but need to develop and grow. The head is about half of the total size, and the brain tissue is growing rapidly. Brain waves are recorded by this time. Individual toes and fingers are formed and can be seen by ultrasound.
This is a 9-week baby. It's difficult to delineate the organs, but a new technique called transvaginal sonography has recently been adopted, allowing a superb resolution. Now you can clearly view the head, the arms and the legs, and the heart, just by focusing within a few centimeters of that baby. By introducing a Doppler signal through this heart, we can measure the heart rate.
At 9 to 10 weeks, the fetus is 2.5 inches long and floats in the amniotic sac, which by now has filled the whole uterus. Vigorous activity can be seen as the baby kicks, jumps, turns somersaults, grasps with fingers, opens his mouth and sucks his thumb. Bones, muscle, and the nervous system continue to develop. The baby has begun to breathe the amniotic fluid, but does not drown because it gets oxygen from the umbilical cord.
This is a 10-week baby, and he's now able to move vigorously within the womb. There he jumps, just waved at you. Now he's going to do a jump for you. There he goes. He's able to utilize the whole uterine cavity now because he's got all this space to move. Here he's going to get ready for another jump. There he goes. Now he's turning and looking at us. You can see his eyes. Here he does a few more jumps. the mother, he would not hold still for 30 minutes, and his mother was really impressed to see what he could do. Now he's going to do a few more jumps, turn on the stomach there, I think. Let's see, yeah, there he goes. They're real active at this time. This is my favorite time to do an ultrasound. Waves his arms. Can you see his hand? His 5 fingers. Now this is another baby that's 10 weeks old. And this baby's laying on his stomach, and this is the head and the body in the back. Now he's going to turn and look at us. Turn over on his side. There he goes. And now he's laying on his back.
By the end of the first trimester, the baby measures only 2.5 inches and weighs about 1 ounce. There is still a lot of room in the womb, and the baby is busy utilizing his private playground. He resembles an astronaut as he floats and jumps around.
This baby's only 11 weeks old, and he's going to suck his thumb for you. He's going to take his hand and put it in his mouth. There he goes. They develop their habits in utero. This is another baby that's 12 weeks old. By the end of the first trimester, all the organs are functioning, and the calcium has begun to replace the cartilage. He's on his stomach there. There he goes. This is the bladder, the cervix, and the uterus, the home that the baby will live in for the full 9 months. I'm going to magnify the sac, and now you can clearly see the baby. See the detail of the spine? And this is the brain. All the brain tissue is now present. See the detail of the face? You can see the eyes and the mouth. This baby's going to open his mouth for you. Watch him. Now watch, he's going to scratch his chin for you. Watch him. Now, to determine the gestational age in the first trimester, we measure the baby from the top of the head down to the bottom of the rump, and we can get within 2 to 3 days of accuracy in the first trimester. Now, this is another 10-week baby. He's laying on his back with his head over here and his feet over to the left. Watch as he moves within the womb. You see those little feet kick? They're busy in there. Now you look real carefully at the feet, and you're going to be able to identify the 5 toes. He's got his foot and his leg developed there, and he's just shaking it to show you.
In the 4th month, the baby will grow to be half as tall as its birth height, about 12 inches. The baby has begun to crowd its living quarters. The skin is so transparent that the branching blood vessels can be clearly seen. Because of the increase in size and strength in the baby's movement, the mother will begin to show and feel the first stirrings of life within her. Fine hair has begun to grow, and sex organs are now apparent. The body is equipped with a complete set of vocal cords, but of course without air he can't make a sound. Sometimes on ultrasound, you can see the baby making crying gestures.
Now this baby's 14 weeks old, and he's going to try to stand on his head in a minute. This is his head and his back. Now watch him as he climbs that uterine wall. Can you see? Look at that back arch. See how limber they are? They can do more in utero than a newborn baby can do outside of the womb because of the amniotic fluid present. Look at he struggles to stand on his head there. Now this is another 14-week baby. He's laying on his back with the head over there. And this is his back. In the second trimester, all the organs can be easily identified. Here's the heart beating, and here's the stomach. The baby swallows the amniotic fluid. Over here is the kidney that can be clearly seen, and the baby urinates in utero now. Over here is the diaphragm. As the diaphragm moves up and down, the baby is breathing. And again, look at the heart. You can see the separate chambers of the heart and identifying the different valves. Listen to the Doppler of that heart. Here's a color image of the blood flow through the heart. This is the detail of the spine. Look at the fine detail of the vertebrae through the cervical and the thoracic area, down through the lumbar and to the sacrum. This is an image of the face. You can see the orbits and the fine detail of the eyes and the mouth. This is an image of the baby's face. In a minute, you're going to see the clear detail of the nose and the lips. Look, you can even see the nostrils. This is a hand. He's making a little fist at you right now. You see the 5 fingers? And this is another hand, and he's pointing his index finger up. You see that? This is a picture of a leg and a foot. And this is a boy. We call that the turtle sign. And this is a girl. This is an image of the placenta. It will supply the nutrition for the baby for the full 9 months. It is attached to the umbilical cord, which attaches right here, right there. You can see the umbilical cord, which attaches to the baby. This is a picture of a head. We measure the baby's head and the abdominal circumference to determine the gestational age in the second trimester. And you can see us measuring there. And then we also measure the baby's femur bone to determine the age.
During the last 3 months, the baby's weight will triple to more than 7 pounds and grow to 20 inches. The living quarters become very cramped. Approximately 1 week before the 40th week, the infant stops growing and drops his head down into the mother's pelvis. And now the mother and child just wait for the big day.
This is a picture of the baby's face. You can see the eyes, the nose right there. Watch him as he yawns for you. There he goes. You can see his eyes. Now this baby, you can see his hand rubbing his face. See the eyes and the nose. Now watch his hand. He's going to do a reflex action for you in a second here. There he goes. Now watch his face. His face is going to come in a minute. You can see the eyes. And watch real carefully. You can actually watch him open and close his eyes. See that? You see his nose? See his eyes open? Yeah. Okay, now this baby is going to open his jaw for you. Oh. Watch him. You see his chin? Now this baby's going to yawn for you in a minute. He's getting ready to take a nap. Isn't that cute? Okay, now this baby's going to stick out his tongue. There he goes. He's going to do it again. He's just licking his chops. Watch him. There. Well, what do you think of those babies? What do you say to that, babies? Thumbs up. Okay.
Ultrasound truly is a window on the womb, through which we can view a human being in its earliest stages of development, and immeasurably deepen our understanding of the miracle we call life.
At that very instant I was given life. I was formed in my mother's body. My bones grew as I took form in my mother's body. When I was put together there, it wasn't too long until my heart started to beat. I was made in an amazing and wonderful way. Before you had a name, or opened up your eyes, or anyone could recognize your face, you were being formed, so delicate in size, secluded in your safe and hidden place, with your little tiny hands and little tiny feet and little eyes that shimmer like a pearl. You were given life at the time you were conceived, a masterpiece now brought into the world. You are a masterpiece, a new creation that has formed, and you're as soft and fresh as a snowy winter morn. And I'm so glad that you're a gift given to me, little child I hold. You are a masterpiece. And now you're growing up. Your life's a miracle. Every time I look at you, I stand in awe. Because I see in you a reflection of me, and you'll always be my special little child. And as your life goes on each day, how I hope that you will see just how much your life has meant to me. And I'm so proud of you. What else is there to say? Just be the masterpiece you were created to be. You are a masterpiece, a new creation that has formed, and you're as soft and fresh as a snowy winter morn. And I'm so glad that you're a gift given to me, little child I hold. You are a masterpiece. You are a masterpiece.